Nearly 24 soldiers were making the final preparations for battle within the inner courtyard. Outside, across the holy capital, the sounds of shouting, slashing steel, and the tolling of bells could be heard. From the direction of the royal palace, smoke lazily rose into the air. Within the center of the courtyard, the general was calmly assessing the situation. No matter how he put it, the situation was far from optimistic. Having been pushed back again and again, there was almost no hope of reversal left. Out of one of the side halls, the head priest of the capital's temple emerged, a frantic expression on his face.
"General, all the preparations are done. It's time to head to the secret tunnel."
The general shook his head.
"Someone needs to defend while you escape."
The priest hastily nodded.
"Exactly, but the general doesn't need to stay behind. The scriptures forgive retreat when it is necessary. There is nothing shameful in conserving one's strength. And crucially, we also need someone to protect us as we flee."
The general gave the priest a disdainful glance.
"Of course, I would be derelict in my duties if I wouldn't assign you a protection detail. I shall give you my best warriors."
Saying so, he looked at a certain young man.
"Take your squad and protect the priests."
The young man hastily stood up, spreading his arms in a pleading gesture. "General, if I may—"
"That's an order."
The young man ground his teeth before performing a crisp salute. "Yes, sir." The general nodded before returning the salute.
"May you be successful in your hunt."
"And may God bless your fangs, sir." After finishing the saying, the young man, together with 3 others, turned to the priest. Being stared at with such intense gazes, the priest felt a chill run down his spine. He quickly thanked the general before scurrying off towards the side hall. The general let out a sigh. How that man belonged to a dignified cow caste still eluded him. From the entrance of the courtyard, one of the general's adjutant emerged, hurrying over to his side before performing a crisp salute.
"Reporting, sir. The enemy has breached the gates of the outer courtyard. They will soon arrive here."
The general nodded calmly.
What about the armies of the Tiger and Lion State? Have they responded to our calls?"
A bead of sweat rolled down the adjutant's brow.
"Sir, our informants have said that both the Tiger and Lion States have declared independence and formed individual nation-states. Our closest allies are the armies of the Leopard State and the Emperor's personal guard. But the Emperor has fled, and there's no way the Leopard army can reach us. In other words, there are no more reinforcements coming. Sir, what are your orders?"
The general regarded the adjutant before him, gazing deeply into his eyes. Within those eyes he saw trust and determination without a single sign of wavering. He inwardly nodded to himself, as that's how a proud member of the wolf caste ought to be.
"I always knew that the lion fellow was ambitious, but to think that even the tiger has revolted. It seems the Empire is truly doomed. Your orders are as follows: defend the courtyard and buy priests enough time to escape."
The adjutant shouted out,
"Understood, sir,"
while saluting. As the general was watching the adjutant direct the soldiers in adopting a defensive formation, a certain soldier caught his eye. His entire body was visibly shivering, almost making his armor ring out. The general approached the soldier.
"You, what's your name?"
The soldier stiffened before saluting in a hurry.
"Sir, my name is Wolfgang, sir."
The general nodded.
"Wolfgang, that's a good name. A true warrior's name. Tell me, Wolfgang, are you afraid?"
At that, the adjutant and other soldiers took secret peeks at the general.
"No, sir. I am a soldier of the Iron Wolves. I am the Empire's fangs, and I—"
The soldier stopped when the general waved his hand before him.
I get it. Truth be told, I am scared too."
At that, a quiet shock spread throughout all those present.
"But that being said, I have sworn an oath before God. Even if I'm scared, even if what we fight is another useless campaign proposed by the Emperor, I have a duty to fulfill. God deemed me to be born a wolf, and that carries expectations, greater than fear. Tell me, are you ready to die for the glory of God and the wolf blood flowing through your veins?"
Before the soldier could respond, the adjutant slammed his breastplate with his fist before letting out a loud cry. Soon, all others in the courtyard joined in the battle cry, the young soldier competing for his voice to be the loudest. The general nodded his head in quiet satisfaction. Even if the world were to end, the honor of the wolf caste could never be underestimated. Heavy footsteps sounded outside the courtyard, accompanied by a mob of ragtag fighters. The group was composed of workers who had picked up weapons from the captured armory, of fallen soldiers, and of the regularly equipped city guard. Leading them was an officer serving under the captain of the guards who had personally slain the latter in battle.
"It is truly an honor to meet the famed general of the Iron Wolves. Your soldiers are every bit as formidable as rumored. Lay down your weapons and surrender the priests, and your lives will be spared."
The general sneered while giving the officer a disdainful look.
"We are proud wolves, unlike you dog caste members who wag your tail at any new master,"
the officer bellowed in anger.
"Why must you continue fighting? The Emperor had fled, and soon the entire capital will fall into our hands. This foul elephant, which has oppressed us, is finally toppling, and in the new world we won't be constrained by our birth. Even the tiger and lion states have joined us. The final resistance is meaningless, and you will die a dog's death. Instead, give up your arms and surrender. Please, I do not wish to fight against the people's hero, the war general of the Iron Wolves. Enough have already died. You have fulfilled your duties, and no one would find fault in you now."
After the officer was left there with a heaving chest, the general responded calmly.
"Whether the Empire was perfect or not matters not, and even so, your revolution is far from being perfect as well. The old Empire hasn't even fully fallen, and already your revolution has splintered into different factions. The ensuing civil war will kill countless. How can you claim that this outcome is better?"
The officer replied with an anxious expression.
"Yes, some sacrifice must be given if we are to change the world, but that doesn't mean that you have to be one of them. Please, lay down your arms. Otherwise, I will be forced to kill you."
The general shook his head coldly.
"I am not a member of the Owl caste to discuss philosophy with you. I am a soldier of the Iron Wolves. I am the Empire's fangs, and I offer up my life in the name of God."
A resounding roar erupted from all around the general as the soldiers charged into battle. The officer gritted his teeth before ordering the attack. The young soldier, Wolfgang, being the first to charge in, was one of the first to die. The adjutant followed soon after, taking a crossbow bolt aimed at the general. Soon the general earned his first wound, his armor blocking several hits yet failing as a lucky strike dug into his armpit. Still he persisted, fighting on with one arm, clearing a ring of bodies around himself. No one dared to approach him as he stood panting heavily in the middle. The officer ordered a simultaneous charge, finally slaying the famed war general at a heavy cost. The general died standing, his hand firmly clasped around his sword. In the distance, the tolls of the bells ceased.